Hello YouTube, it's William. Coming here to cool off a minute. That grinder is getting a little warm. I got the kilns going and the ovens going, and man, it's a little rough in there. But anyway, I thought maybe I'd do a quick video, cover a couple of topics. The main topic is going to be knife handle material. But before I get started on that, I wanted to do a shout out to everybody I met at Pathfinder last weekend. Had a blast. It was thoroughly enjoyed it. It was well worth the 16-hour drive each way. I kind of split that up into 2 days, but anyway, had a blast. Met some fantastic people. All of you who came up and said hello, I appreciate it. Those who asked me to sign their sheets, I mean, what a thrill. That was just made my day. I appreciate that. It was my pleasure to sign those. Again, it was a pleasure meeting you, and it was too many to name. I'm sure that I would miss somebody, and I certainly don't want to do that. So I'm just going to say thank you to all of you that came up, and it was my pleasure to meet you and shake your hand and say thanks. There will be others. I think Randy with Stitch Gear and I are going to be doing a show in Tulsa in November. I think it's going to be a gun show there that we're going to attend. We're going to have some knives there and some things at Randy's table, at Stitch Gear Outfitters table. As soon as that gets closer, I'll do a video and let you guys know when and where and how and all this other stuff. So if you're anywhere near, please stop by and say hello. So with that said, let's talk about knife handles. I get asked a lot what my opinion is on knife handle material, and so I'm going to give you my opinion. Personally, I am not into decorative stuff. I'm more into function than I am pretty and colors and all this other stuff. With that said, the most functional and durable and handle material that fits my needs is G10. G10 is smooth to the touch. It is it's almost slick so that it doesn't create hot spots when you're using it for an extended period of time. Yet when your hands get sweaty or wet in kitchen chores and things like that, it becomes almost tacky. Now, when you're talking about blood and stuff like that, then I don't know of anything that becomes tacky once blood hits it. Blood is just a completely different entity when it comes to handles. But with water, G10 is very slip resistant once it gets wet with water or sweat. So I like G10. G10 is probably my preferred material. It's tough as nails, and it functions very well. You can also kind of spice it up a little bit, like this Hunter Orange with yellow liners, and you can do different things like that. You can even, I think they have different layered G10 now with different colors, so it kind of gives it that a little unique look. So you can spice it up a little bit, but again, it's kind of utilitarian as far as colors. But again, tough as nails. My second favorite would be Micarta, canvas Micarta. That's unpolished. It's probably 80 grit or so is what I polish my Micarta with. The only drawback that I've had with customers is they claim that if you use it in like fishing and things like that, then all that stuff gets inside those pores and it becomes an odor issue. I've never had that issue, but I guess it's possible. Now, with that said, my treatment of Micartas may be a little bit different than others. I don't know. But basically, my Micarta, once I wash it after it's been shaped, I wash it with soap and water, and then I dry it with a heat gun until it's completely dry and those fibers are swelled up. And once the handle is hot, then I dip it into a penetrating oil, or teak oil is what I use, and I let it soak in that oil for 15-20 minutes. As the handle cools, it draws that oil into the handle. So it actually seals those pores up. Now, over time, you may have to treat that process again after a couple of years or so. I've had knives that I've used for about 3 years and I haven't had to redo that. But again, that may be an issue. It may depend on climate and things like that. If you're in an arid climate like the desert or something like that, then you may have to treat it more often than somebody that's in a more humid climate. I'm not sure. But anyway, that is an issue or a process that may help that issue. The other reason that I like G10 and micarta is it's easily shaped. If you have a handle that you don't like a spot, if it's too thick or something like that, then it's easily fixed by you. All you have to do is just take a sanding machine and sand that down with whatever grit that does it. Maybe you want to use 50 grit or something to take that material off, and then finish it off with 80 grit. Once you do that, then soak it again in oil, heat it up, soak it in oil, and it's done. It's very easily fixed. After an amount of time that the handle may get polished on you with a lot of use, then it's easily roughed back up. Just take some 80 grit and rough it back up, and again, you got that grip there again. So it's very user friendly, and it just may not be on the pretty side, but it is just a fantastic material. Either one of those materials are just fantastic. Now, my third choice would be an acrylic of some type, like Crinite, or a lot of the corncob or pine cone handles is acrylic. The only issue is, I mean, they come in beautiful colors. This is a lava Crinite, which is just a fantastic color. But the only issues with that as far as heavy use or hard use is they may get scuffed. They're not as heat resistant as the G10 or the micarta is, so you have to keep those away from very hot fires, or you got to keep it out of the dishwasher. I prefer this material in my kitchen knives because, again, it gets tacky once it's wet. So I use Crinite on my kitchen knives, but I don't use them in the dishwasher. I don't put them in the dishwasher because of the heat issue. But again, you have to watch them and make sure they don't get scuffed up and things like that. But again, it's a fairly durable handle. It has a little bit of eye appeal there as well. So that's another good choice. Just have to be a little bit more careful than micarta or G10. Along with that Crinite, something that comes along the same lines is the Dymondwood or Dymolux, which is a derivative or a different fabricator for Dymondwood. Basically what they have is they have layered wood that is layered in resins that's been dyed. Just like this is Dymondwood, and it looks just like wood, which it is wood. It's just a little bit more durable than wood. It doesn't shrink or crack as easily as wood. It will crack, but it's not as easily as wood. And so that is an option, and again, it's very smooth. It does get a little tacky when it's wet, so that's a viable option for you if you like that look. If you want a wood look, then look at some of the Dymondwoods. They have some very nice colors. The other material after that is natural materials like bone or stag or regular wood. Now, wood, you can get stabilized wood. That process is the wood is placed inside a resin in a vacuum chamber, and that wood is drawn in, or the resins is drawn into the wood, which actually helps stabilize the wood. Now, that's not foolproof. I have seen the process work very well, and I have seen the process don't work at all. So you're kind of rolling the dice a little bit. You need to get with somebody who has is very reputable with that process, and then you should be okay. But other than that, wood shrinks. Wood is not as durable or as tough as micarta or G10. It looks great, but again, I prefer the G10 or the micarta But if you're gonna have a knife that you want to have look nice and be something to hand down to your grandchildren, then maybe wood may be an option for you. But other than that, if it's going to be a heavy use knife, field knife, I don't recommend wood or bone or stag, because they crack, they wear. The stag, just the nature of stag creates hot spots, and it's just not very comfortable, and I just don't recommend it for a heavy use knife. It looks great, but that's about as far as it goes. Anyway, those are my opinions. That is my preferences. Again, gear is personal, so you take it for what it's worth. Appreciate you guys joining me on this one, and please get in the backyard, whittle on a stick, take a child with you, get the opportunity, and don't forget those plenty of band-aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.